And she said, well, I'm going to see what I can do for you. And the next thing I know, I'm in this beautiful apartment with all this new furniture and new things. I'm overwhelmed. I'm so grateful. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Hi. Hi. Oh my God. Hello.
Hi, Sandra.
How are you?
Congratulations.
I'm overwhelmed.
They did a great job, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
Welcome home.
Yeah.
Well, here are your keys, my dear.
Yeah.
My name is Sandra Lennon. I'm 73 years old. I lived in Boston for 30 years while I was married. I'm now a widow. I'm overwhelmed with everything that has been done for me. I had no idea that people would actually help me. Kristen and Lisa and everybody else that helped getting me out of the rehab hospital and now in my own apartment.
Can you tell us a little bit about your experience there, what that was like, how long you were in there?
Well, the whole story is one of my friends came over to visit me at my home where I lived previously, and she found me blacked out. I was slumped over in a chair, and she tried to wake me, and she couldn't wake me, so she called 911. The EMTs came, and that was when I actually woke up, was when they were working on me. And they took me to the hospital, and I was in Hammett for a week. I was discharged from there on November 3rd. But in the meantime, my landlord hadn't paid for the water, so I was without water for 9 days. So I withheld my rent. And while I was in the hospital, he wanted to evict me, and I didn't have any place to go. So they sent me to rehab, where I've been living for the last 6 months.
And can you tell us about the process of getting in touch with Voices for Independence and how that went?
Well, to be honest with you, my sister Pam had a lot to do with that kind of stuff, because she helped me with organizations, finding organizations. And I called and spoke to Tim Taylor from Voices of Independence. And he and his wife Jamie came to visit me when I was still living at my previous home, and we became friendly. They were just so nice and helpful, you know, and they would bring me applications for apartments, and then they would take them and deliver them to places, and they were really good in helping me with that. And so that was how I actually got started in the process of trying to get myself out of the rehab hospital, which turned out to be a longer process, because most of the places that I had applied to were full. They had no apartment vacancies, and they put me on a waiting list. And so 6 months later, I'm still waiting. And actually, I found Methodist Towers through Tim, and he brought me an application, and I filled out the application, and then my sister and her husband brought me here to look at the apartments, and I met Karen, who is the property manager. And Karen was awesome. She took me all around, all of us, showed us apartments and everything, and then told me that she had a vacancy coming up. And so I asked her about it, and she said, well, it's a handicapped apartment, because I told her that's what I really needed, because I had a huge apartment before and I couldn't take care of it any longer. So I knew I wanted to downsize, but I didn't know how much I was going to downsize, you know what I mean? So anyway, once I started talking to Karen, and she gave me this information that there was going to be a vacancy with a huge bathroom that you could actually bring a wheelchair into. And she said that they had a full kitchen, which most studio apartments do not have. So she showed me an apartment, and it was adorable. I mean, the lady that lived there was so kind and let me come in and see it. And I was so impressed with everything that I really wanted to, you know, find apartment here if I could. Well, Karen was very helpful in the whole process. And then I met Kristen. And Kristen, well, first of all, let me backstep a minute. I signed up with Life of Northwest Pennsylvania, and they came and they were helping me with the process of all the paperwork that I had to do to get approved for the apartment. And it was coming down to the line where if I didn't sign the lease, I was going to lose the apartment, because there was other people waiting for it. Because this type of apartment that I have is not, it's not one that lasts very long. A lot of people want this kind of apartment because of the size of the bathroom and stuff. So anyway, here I am. I can't believe it. And I had a lot of furniture and stuff like that from my old apartment, but it was put in storage because I had to call my friends to move my stuff out because I was being evicted while I was in the hospital. And so my friends moved all of my stuff, and they took it and put it in storage, and some of it was in a truck, and I guess the truck got stolen, so I lost a lot of my stuff. And then I don't know how I actually found Kristen. She just showed up in my room one day and told me who she was, and started asking me about my apartment, you know, the transitioning to the apartment, and what I had and what I needed. And I was like, I honestly don't know what I have. I don't know if I have anything. And she said, well, I'm going to see what I can do for you. And the next thing I know, I'm in this beautiful apartment with all this new furniture and new things. I'm overwhelmed. I'm so grateful. I'm very grateful to all of you. I just never thought anything like this would happen for me. It's after my husband died, I kind of fell apart. And being by myself, you know, it was hard. And now, you know, I'm adjusted to being alone, and I'm so excited to have my own place again. I really am.
Can you tell me a little bit more about what that means to you to be back in the community where you belong, more independent?
Well, I didn't like I felt like I was being institutionalized, you know. I had to ask if I could leave to go out with my family and stuff like that. It was not something that I was accustomed to, and I know it was, you know, they have to keep track of their patients or whatever, but they were very good about helping me, you know, allowing me to go out with my family and stuff. But everything was regimented, you know. I mean, breakfast was served at 8:30 in the morning. Lunch was served at 12:30. It's like, I don't eat that way, you know. I mean, I usually didn't eat breakfast. Their coffee sucked. Period. There was no way. My friend Tracy, would bring me coffee from either Dunkin' Donuts or Tim Hortons at least 3 times a week. I'm serious, because that coffee sucked. It was bad. Yeah, see, I lived in Boston, and there's a Dunkin' Donuts on every corner, and I swear to God, they're across the street from each other. Ask my sister, she knows. She came to visit me a lot of times. But yeah, I'm a big Dunkin' Donuts fan, for coffee.
Say somebody is interested in learning more about Voices for Independence, learning more about this process, learning about getting out in the community on their own. What would you say to them?
Well, first of all, I would give them all their phone numbers. I would certainly tell them that it's a possibility, something that I didn't think was possible, that it is a possibility, and there's a lot of people out there that will help you. You just have to ask. And I guess I didn't like to ask. I don't like to ask for help. I always thought I was able to take care of myself. And as I get older, I realize that there's things that I need help with.
It's okay. Everybody needs help. Everybody needs help sometimes.
Yeah. So I would say, first of all, Voices of Independence was a very good way for me to get everything that I needed. I got the apartment, I got all my furniture, I got groceries, I got new friends. Seriously.